Hey guys, so just kind of setting the stage for this review a bit. I got a comment on last week's My Hero Academia review in response to my criticism that Horikoshi was setting up Stripe to die a little too early on into the series. Like she's literally going to die like literally only a couple chapters after we got introduced her. So yeah, I was critical of the fact that Horikoshi was setting her up to die without us having time to really get to know her or her relationship with All Might. Basically saying whatever, and this commenter basically said, whatever happens in the story, and I should just shut up and deal with it. Like I guess I'm paraphrasing that last part, but that's more or less felt like the tone this person was going for when he made this comment to me. So now we have this chapter, which does alleviate more than a couple of my concerns, at least in terms of like whether or not I could feel invested in her death, but it did still ultimately confirm my worst fear as well. But starting off on the more positive note, one thing I do love about this chapter is how right from the jump we're basically shown this whole idea that ultimately one of Star and Stripe's motivating factors for becoming a hero was the idea that right from the jump she was already being compared to All Might despite having a very different quirk, and on top of that accumulated on top of and a lot of that was accumulated on top of the fact that there was already this expectation of her of being the USA's #1 hero, and that kind of expectation thrust upon her as a counterpart to Japan's #1 hero, All Might, which in the former's case, you can definitely tell that despite feeling outwardly annoyed by the comparison all the time, Star and Stripes still pretty much took a lot of that in stride, and despite ironically choosing to emulate All Might in appearance with her costume and all that, that in itself is her way of showing respect to All Might while still being reflective of her own path in a hero and the choice that she has made. Like ultimately, even if the choice was kind of thrust upon her to become the #1 hero of America, she pretty much still took it in stride and took it as, okay, this is my turn to like show who I am and show what I'm capable of, and that I'm more than just like the comparison, more than just the American All Might kind of thing, which All Might was already pretty American already, but it's like, yeah, it's like she really, this was a chapter that really showed like that pretty much of who Star and Stripe is and who she wants to be as a hero. Which, yeah, I love when we get into that stuff. I love how we get into that stuff, and then yeah, just the idea that even in the path of becoming her own hero, she still ultimately respects All Might for what he represents in the world. With that out of the way, though, we do need to talk about the thing I didn't like, which is the final page all but confirms Star and Stripe is about to die, which, again, just to be fair about it, this chapter did give me enough of a reason to care about her. The last couple of chapters definitely did give me enough of a reason to care about her. And when you get down to it, narratively, Shigaraki would have still had to have won this battle in order to just push forward the idea that no single hero alone can honestly stop him at this point. And honestly, I suppose there is some sort of tragedy in the that All Might never truly got to see what Star and Stripe had become as a hero. But yeah, I'm sorry. Even now, even now, after getting all the stuff that we did in this chapter, it still feels too soon for her to die. Which part of me is hoping Horikoshi's going to have Endeavor come in and try and save her last minute, seeing as how Horikoshi did take a moment to focus on his reaction to the battle. But I do have to believe she's pretty much a goner, which, again, definitely a tragedy that she and All Might never got to see each other again, but something just doesn't sit right with me about the idea of her not being able to see him see All Might again, or even meet Izuku. Honestly, it just feels a little. It just feels all like weird. I think is just the best way to say it. But also one other thing I can't offer as props though is that like a lot of the times even like I said last week that I really got into the into the secondary characters like basically Star and Stripes Air Force buddies, whoever they are. But this chapter really really kind of dove deep in a little bit deeper into that relationship, and yeah, but by the end of this chapter, I absolutely fell in love with Star and Stripes, like again Air Force buddies. Like I feel even in just a single panel, it really fleshed out. It really fleshed out. It really fleshed out these characters a lot more, and really gave me just a lot of likable qualities about them that made me say I love these. I love Star and Stripes buddies. I really I don't want them to die, but I didn't want them to die. But yeah, it was probably it was inevitable to happen, unfortunately, and yeah, it again, it's funny to say, but I really cared about the Air Force guys the most during this whole thing, sometimes even more than Star and Stripe, honestly. Now, getting away from that, I really want to talk the artwork in this chapter, because this is one of those chapters where you can tell Horikoshi loved and relished in drawing in every frame, every gruesome detail of what the missile strike did to Shigaraki, and even just something as simple as how like the missiles affect the environment itself all shows Horikoshi Horikoshi revels I think in drawing every little detail of like of what happened, of like what's of a character's body or a character's facial structure, and even just simple environments. Like you can tell he relishes in the little details and the big details of detailing anything as much as he can. And I love when manga artists just allow themselves to cut loose like that. Now, with that said, every time a manga artist does do this, it also kind of forces me to ask the question, just how the fuck is the anime gonna handle this? Like, Bones is good, but unless they have a movie-sized budget when they reach this part in the story, this whole battle feels beyond their ability to handle, because Shigaraki got fucked up. Like, if I wasn't for the fact that he has All For One, I'd call bullshit and say, how is this fucker still alive after all that? But the fact that he does have it, again, goes to show just how tightly everything All For One has been planning is coming together. Like, it's all fitting perfectly into place for him, and honestly, even more so, with all this going on, it makes me question even more, is it even worth it for Class A to do their little show? Because shit may hit the fan sooner than what they can hope. But yeah, again, just getting back to Shigaraki though, like seeing how his body, his face, it all got fucking warped by the missile strike, and he's still alive. Like he's basically a living zombie. He's basically a zombie. He's basically a living fucking zombie at this point. And again, you can tell Horikoshi just reveled in just deforming Shigaraki in every crack, every crevice he was drawing of this chapter. Like, you can tell he reveled in this shit, and I'm not gonna lie, the artwork really was just phenomenal this week. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.